Hello, hello. We are making a video together forever in the eternal universe. Oh my gosh. Kiss her? Kiss? Kiss? A kiss her? A kiss. You kiss her? You give me a kiss. You kiss? A kiss her? A kiss her? A kiss her? Beste Gott. Yes, bestes. Also, beste Gott. Oh, das ist so. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh. Oh, Papa Dog, I love you. He makes such amazing sounds that come right out of here, out of the belly. Like, like a sound that comes straight out of the entire inside of the stomach. Oh, Papa Dog. I love a God. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful leather hippie ear. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ear. Beautiful, velveteen, so soft and so gorgeous. And that is the meaning of life. Right, Papa Dog? Yes, that is the meaning of life. So, I look a little bit like that one guy, that husband of Nicole. My hair looks like that guy, Brian's hair. Very, very, a very similar hair structure. Not only that, but my haircut too. And the way it is split and everything. To me, this is fun. Yes, I'm making a video. 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 No, I'm not. I'm not closing the door. Paul is taking a shower. So, but Papa Dog and I were making a video together forever in the entire eternal universe. And we want to talk about all kinds of things in regards to psychology. I've been thinking about this all day long, the subject of people following others and why they do it. You know, Jiddu Krishnamurti always said it is extremely irresponsible to follow anyone, and that is so true. And all that does, this followership type of mentality, it warps the entire world. It makes the world neurotic. It twists things out of proportions. It causes suffering. It causes massive psychological suffering. And then out of that, it's just inevitable that some people will cause other living beings suffering out of their own suffering. So out of their disconnectedness in this process. So, and that's what I'm trying to bring out in my videos. That's what I'm trying to make understood in my videos. And it seems very difficult to do. I wanna use this. I wanna use my camera stand, and I want to I want to move my camera stand over here so that I don't have to hold the camera like this here. That's better. Yes, then I don't have to hold this and shake this around and all of this. I want the Papa Dog in the video too. So, sort of. I don't know then. I'm sorry. Yes. Now this is kind of dark. So it comes out. See, as soon as you shine a little bit towards the light source, then then the stuff that's in front of the light source becomes dim. And as soon as you shine away from the light source against that an object that will have the light source shine against it, like now the light source shines against my face, so now it's behind me, the light source. Papa Dog is still bright and illuminated here. His nose is cold and wet, and that's how a dog nose should be. It should always be cold and wet. Then they feel good. So when the nose is warm, then the dog doesn't feel so good. So yeah, it is very unflattering, but that's okay. I'm gonna film myself anyway. So so yeah, followership. I watched some Osho videos that are still on YouTube. I I remember how this whole thing got started. It got started during the yuppie era in the 80s. That's when Osho, Rajneesh, Bhagwan Rajneesh started to get into popularity, and people caught on to this, and the 80s was the era of yuppiness and of they were tired of their mothers, of their hippie mothers and fathers, and that is my generation, because that's when I was in the 80s. That's when I was 18, 19, 20, and so on. And when I was still confused and hanging out with wrong people and all of this. Yeah, I've gone through incredible, what feels like waste of time in my life. Incredible waste of time. But when you look back on all of this, then you can probably realize that even this, what seems like the waste of time, all of this incredible confusion, the confusion phases, hanging out with the wrong people, but even that is part of the school. So who would I be now if I didn't have that? Or if I didn't have that school, that incredible waste of time and all of this? Would I still have the same insights? That is the rational question in all of this. So I can look back and say, okay, it is my school, however tough it was and however wasteful and all of this. But I learned very good lessons from this. I really realized that this was a waste of time and that didn't get me anywhere. It didn't move me forward. Yeah. Not in the sense that I would want directly to learn and to move forward. So it moved me forward in a very indirect and a roundabout way, but only through introspection. If I wouldn't have introspection, then how could I move ahead with that hard school and with that wastefulness and with the confusion phases and all of this, then I would probably I would still be confused if I didn't have the insights. So, you know, so we have to come to a mental state where we have to have insights into that what is and that what was. And that what was is shaped me towards that what I am right now. And it keeps on shaping. Things keep on moving and shaping, okay? Nothing ends up on a plateau. It just keeps on moving and shaping. And it's the only way we can heal ourselves is through very thorough introspection. I have to ask myself, with whatever it is, if it's jealousy, some people are, my mother, for example. So, I mean, it is so incredibly, it makes me angry, but I have to understand when I look at this person, how incredibly miserable that state of existence is, with that humongous bulwark, as I could call it, of with the army bulwark of denial. It's like an onslaught of denial. This Vilayana Ramachandran talks about this. There's actually a medical term for this called anosognosia. That's when someone is, I call it though also the wounded deer syndrome, when someone is in denial out of defending themselves, out of self-protection. So this can take on many forms. It can come in all kinds of different shapes. The wounded deer keeps grazing in order to signal to a possible onlooking enemy or predator animal, hey, I'm still grazing, I'm all good. I can run off anytime I want to, even if the leg is injured. So it's a self-defense mechanism. In humans, it can become so intense that they will actually believe that their injured arm is not injured. Dr. Ramachandran has seen that in his clients. He's been talking to people and said, if your arm is not injured, then show me that it is not injured. Move your arm around. And the person will say, I just don't want to. But in reality, the arm is paralyzed. They can't even move the arm. There's a neurological, there's a nerve damage, and they cannot move the arm. But the brain goes into this denial state where they just flat out deny that the arm is injured. So and then if he probes a little further into it, they'll come up with all kinds of excuses, kind of like very similar to a religious fanatic. You probe a little further, and at some point the person gets angry, and because they're cornered, they don't have anymore. They've run out of any possible excuse, or explanation to why they just don't feel like moving their arm, or why they think the earth is flat, or why they think humans have come from Adam and Eve, or denying that there's such thing as pollution happening, or deforestation happening. Or they think the resources are endless because the Bible said that. And then later on, they cling so tight to that. The bulwark of denial is so intense that they feel like they can't get out of that groove anymore, that they have grooved themselves, like a very densely knitted neuronal connection. And the ego does not let go, does not like to let go of those kind of things, of all kinds of beliefs, particularly when they come from their upbringing and when they identify themselves with this. When there's a self identification happening with that belief or with certain situations, like the identification with, let's say, a man having always been muscular and worked on this, and like the Batman type of belief system. I am Batman, or whatever they want to believe, the Hulk or whatever. And then at some point they end up injured, or I don't know what might happen that will cross out this image that they had previously had. So, but if they have a form of anosognosia, they will flat out deny it. They will say, no, I still have my legs or my arm, or no, I'm not paralyzed, or I just don't want to walk right now. It goes that deep. And in evolution, obviously, this has been a characteristic of mind function that has survived. So obviously, individuals that had that have survived through predators approaching and so on. While the other ones, the honest ones, the ones that were honest to themselves, the ones that recognized, yes, I am injured, and the ones that might even have gone into a frenzy, is kind of like me. I'm the opposite of the person that goes into denial. Although my husband said that he noticed that I too have some denial things going on, but they're not on the very basic foundation of my life. They're more like marginal type of things. So has more to do with, that I give people more credit than they deserve, because my brain wants to think, oh, I finally found a friend who cares. But so I kind of like, it takes a long time until my brain really wants to acknowledge that this person that I just thought for 20 years was a caring person is actually not a caring person. So it takes a long time for me to want to let go of that belief, of that credit that I want to give that person. So, but I don't see that much of a problem with that. It can be a little dangerous in some situations. That's why it is so important that we become clear about real situations, and not kid ourselves about something, not kid ourselves about, like, when it comes to business encounters, when it comes to buying a piece of land and the person says, oh, you don't need title insurance, you can trust me. And if they then bought me a bouquet of flowers and said, see, I told you I'm a good person, here's a bouquet of flowers, and I would go, oh yeah, I want to believe that this is a good person, I can trust him, we don't need title insurance. This is just one out of gazillions of examples. So or a banker or a creditor or whatever you're dealing with in your life, um, or making a partnership contract with someone to establish a company. I've seen all kinds of things happen to other people, where they trusted that other person, where they wanted to trust. You cannot trust the other person. You cannot. I'm sorry to say it. And even if it's your family member, Okay, you cannot trust. This might sound very gloomy, and this might sound straight out paranoid, but you know what? It is the real rich people. They don't go by fads or by, oh, I better not appear paranoid. Oh, I better want to appear relaxed and lean back and generous and all of this. Those people don't make it in life. Okay, that's not how you become wealthy. Okay, you cannot become wealthy if you let society intimidate you into letting certain people get scot free, as they call it. Letting giving someone the benefit of the doubt. This is not how we make it forward in life. Because why would humans be exempt from the animal kingdom that the human species belongs to? Yes. Why would they be exempt, all of the sudden, in this playing field of you better protect yourself from the predators. You better protect yourself. You better put your flour for cooking into a sealed Tupper container away from the little predators called ants, right? I mean, it's just to use one example, out of so many, it, it would be better to eat healthy, right? So, or it would be better to, I don't know, better not to have food with you when you go hiking, because what if there's a starving bear? And what if the starving bear doesn't know what else to do other than to steal your backpack? So they usually don't hurt people, but they're starving. They want food. We have global warming. The animals are not. They're taken out of their natural flow of life because of pollution through commerce. And ecosystems are changing. Animals are polar ice bears are going on land, trying to find food because there's no more food there that they can find on the ice. I mean, it's just things are shifting through human pollution, human greed. Okay, and I'm trying to shine the camera onto this mentally. I'm trying to shine a light onto this, a lamp onto this situation, okay? So that we can see what's happening, what's going on. We can't be in denial about any of these things. So if we go out hiking, we better not take some food with us that the bear can smell, for example. Or it's better to have, maybe have a large dog with you, have a pepper spray, which you're probably going to use on a person rather than on a wild animal. And in this sense, we need to protect ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. The human is not above this. Okay? The human is as greedy and greedier than a wild animal is. Okay, and why should we hold the other cheek, and why should we say, oh yeah, I believe you, I give you the benefit of the doubt? So you can't do this. Okay, so that's why we have lawyers, that's why we have such a convoluted legal system, because of all of these sneaky different types of predatory minds that are out there. that are always thinking in terms of how to screw someone over, how to gain something. Some people, they don't even feel accomplished unless they have taken something from someone else fraudulently. So it's like it's sort of is the same mindset as a sadistic person has, I guess, or is someone who just it's a taker, basically, someone who just wants to take, and then they feel slick about it or proud. So it's that is equal and worse to a wild animal out there in the forest, where things used to be clean and pure and the nervous system was not polluted. Now with human greed, they have greeded themselves into more and more pollution and convolution, pollution of environment and pollution of thoughts, that they don't even know what is going on. They are so incredibly confused. So that's why I'm trying to shine the light. I shine the light here and you see something there on the side. I'll move the lamp over to that side and you see more over here, and you go, oh yeah, most people probably go, no, I don't believe it. I don't accept that. Denial, okay, anosognosia, or they go, no, this is just bullshit, that's ridiculous. And then you probe a little further and you ask them, and you have some better arguments because you have the truth on your side, and they will get very angry and they will become very defensive. So I see all of this happening in the world, and it's making me very, very sad. And I feel extremely helpless in front of all of this. And I don't know how to help. I don't know how to make it better. My personality doesn't speak to most. Yes. Yes, but better. I know. And the way I look doesn't speak to most people. And I want to get my clay out. So the way I look is also a direct reflection on my mindset. It's like I don't see the point in doing what all of these other women are doing with themselves, with their bodies. I don't see the point in it. What would be the point to what would be the point for me to lose weight? What would maybe a little bit I can lose a couple of pounds to be healthier. So, but I don't see the point. And why should I go to a gym? For what? So that some asshole will like me more or something? No, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in assholes. Not at all. I don't. To me, this is too superficial. It's not something that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in just a pretty boy or something to come into my life. Some superficial pretty boy, or some weakly pushover person. No, I'm not interested in this. I'm absolutely not interested. The men I like are Jeff Bezos. The number one who really impresses me, even though he has some people that are working in, because it is set up in this reward system, the entire management of Amazon. So the reward system of ma- m- profit maximization, So one manager, it's a hierarchical system, and they will do all kinds of things to so that they can show that they have managed to bring in more profit maximization, and he on the very top doesn't even get to see some of the little trickery that they do. I don't know how far the trickery that he actually is informed about that they do, or the little sneaky little, oops, oh sorry, we didn't see this, oh well, we'll make up for it. It's like if you are the squeaky wheel customer, then they will give you the oil. So, but the other customers who didn't say anything, they that just they just Amazon just made an extra profit on them. So the customer has to say something, and the entrepreneur has to be smart and for himself or herself, and that's how it goes. So I let that internet company, I let them trick me. They had this, that was 10 years ago. I've learned since then. I've learned a lot. I've because I'm lazy also, and I don't want to deal with all of this. And then I did, like for a rebate, I thought I didn't make a mistake, but, and I think I didn't make a mistake, but I let it go because I didn't know how to deal with it. So then these kind of things started happening more and more and more, and I finally had to get into it. I finally had to. I had no choice. Or should I just let my money just flow out and let them take advantage? Most companies will take advantage of their customers. So eventually there comes the point where you have to say, I have to protect my bank account. I have to protect my money. So then you finally have to get into it. Or when they cheat you on your property taxes and charge like 3 times more than you should pay, or you know you eventually you have to get into it. And if you don't get into it, if you don't research this, if you don't stand up for yourself, then the money will flow out, and then what? So this is one important thing. And people cannot defend themselves in the world financially if they can never think clearly, if they're on any kind of substance. So you cannot be on a substance. You cannot even be on a substance on the weekends. You cannot be on substances, whether that is alcohol, nicotine, drugs, or party drugs, or whatever. You cannot be on that at any point in your life. Not even for the party that you've been waiting for 10 years or whatever. No, you can't. You can't even think clearly at the party that you've been looking forward to. You want to be in a fog in that party. You don't even want to experience it. You want to be mind fogged on that party. You want someone to reach into your wallet, into your pursey. I had a friend that happened to her like numerous times, not just one time, but like I don't know how many times that happened to her in her life. It, because she's so absent-minded, and the purse hangs low, very low. It's very chic, but hangs low, and very chic and very practical for the thief. So the thief or thief needs to slowly, quietly reach the hand into it, like in a subway on the on on the rolling stairs. I forgot the name of that. So and then slowly reach the wallet, take the wallet out, and act like nothing happened. When she gets home, oh, my wallet is gone. There was 2,000 euros in it. Oh, it's gone. Or at work, she puts her wallet, she withdraws money or gets a paycheck or something, puts that into a shelf at the workplace. Yeah, by the time she wants to go home, that envelope with the money is gone. Oops, I wonder who took it. It's this, we want to trust people. Oh, sweetie, with that attitude, you know, it's not going to go anywhere, okay? Because you can't trust people. Not even in Germany. No, you cannot trust people, okay? That's the bottom line of it. The first thing is we want to be sober, right? And by sober, I mean like completely sober and completely free from substances. Okay? Second sobriety level is we want to be free from brainwash. We want to be free from what society forces us uh, on how to think and what to buy and how to dress and how to act. Someone in a chat room the other day said, "You are a breach." So she thought I was Guy because of the name Kenny Redwood. I'm writing whatever I'm commenting. I comment under my other channel because that's what I'm signed into in my computer. So I signed into this to take a break from my email server because I knew how stressful that was for me with my family. So now that lady, you are a breach. Then she asked me, "What are you, a boy or a girl?" I said, "I'm a woman." Then she said, "You are really a breach." Now with being a woman and what I'm saying, now that really goes against the code of conduct. I don't know what person that wrote. I think I have the feeling that is a young teenage girl or something. And probably coming from a very fundamentalist 16-year-old fundamentalist somewhere rural, that where she gets all of these brainwash laws implemented into her, and then she sees someone who is completely outside of all of this, and to her this is a breach. This is like a traitor, like a this is like Satan to her, someone who thinks outside of that box. So, but my message to her and everyone here, but if you want to make it in life, you cannot be fogged by religious indoctrination, okay? Or by society indoctrination. It could be the society of haute couture, of high society, of jet setter society. That my parents, my brother are adoring so much, and to them that's their Bible, it's their religion. It's how the jet setters live, and that is their law of conduct, and how to one doesn't do this anymore. I will hear from them once in a while. One doesn't. Who is one? It's not me. I don't know who one is. So Me clown, not one of that. Me outside, sorry. And so just to, I mean, my parents, I really learned from them on how not to live my life. I really, really did. This catering and paying everything, paying off my brother's debts because he didn't pay the taxes, or me way back before I met Paul. I would give a car mechanic in LA. Here's my credit card here to pay for the repair, which they never did. They did not do any repair on the Suzuki Samurai that I had at that time. I paid like, I don't know what I paid, like $20,000, $30,000, and I was never even paying attention. Here's the credit card, you take. And they took it. And they charged me a lot of money. Well, this is for the catalyzer converter. This is for this. This is for, I don't even know what all these parts, and they know exactly that I don't know what all of these car parts are. So they really found a money supplier in me with this. So my parents then finally said, we want that credit card back. Okay, that was a smart move, but they didn't make me face the consequences or anything. And I love my parents infinitely much. They mean well. But you know what? That is not how you make it forward financially. It just isn't. I'm not saying that, I'm not being harsh with them. I'm just saying this is not working. It isn't working. Here's my credit card. It isn't. This is not how things work, okay? There are predators out there. They will take your credit card and they will charge you horrendous sums. And if they see they get away with it, then they'll charge some more and even more. And they become bolder, even. It just doesn't end. They probe a little bit. They see how stupid one is. So they'll try all kinds of things. That's why, so in the last 10 years that I've lived in this house here in particularly, I really learned. I really see it finally. But also through my husband, who's always been telling me this. When I first met him, I thought he was self-righteous, and I thought that he was in self-grandeur or something. But all he said was, you gotta be careful. People are stupid, and they are criminals, and they will trick you. And it is very stupid to be someone that has poor man's greed. It's very stupid. Poor man's greediness, criminality. That's very stupid. That does not move anyone forward. Whether we are the stupid prey or whether we are the stupid predators. Either one is stupid, because that's not how we move forward in life. We don't move forward through being high on anything, being brain fogged, being brainwashed, which is really, it's kind of like a bad word, because it's not clean. Yeah. The brainwashing fogs up the brain. It dirties the brain. So that's why it's not really an accurate terminology. But you know what I mean. So brainwashing. Indoctrination is a better word. Indoctrination. Being indoctrinated with brain dirtying thoughts and Religion is dirty, it's filth. That's what it is. It filths up the brains. It corrupts people. It's what it does. It's so incredibly bad. That's not how we move ourselves forward. So if you want to see on how do you become rich, you look at those people that made it. Look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Donald Trump. Um, Look at anyone that is really, really mega intelligent and uses that intelligence to move forward in life. And it's not just this mindset of, I want to get rich, from A to Z. Rich, it's all this rich, just rich blindfold, just rich. That's not the right mindset. So that brings me to the other subject. I was cuddling with the papa dog on my bed earlier, and it was so good the way that felt. And I'm not like financially rich or anything. And I thought, this is rich. Papa dog is rich. He is my richness. Papa dog is my wealth. Okay? So he's my capital. Here. He is the ultimate.